Hey guys, and this video is gonna be about food stocking up. Grocery stores not always having enough of what we need is the best to stock up on food. So while it's a good idea to stock up and not only stock up but also be more self-reliant, like growing some food in your backyard, this is even better. But some people don't have backyards, and some people just maybe even if they do have backyard, they might not have enough space for any animals there, maybe just a tiny garden. But 2-3 tomato plants will not feed your family. It will provide a salad, every other day or so, but that's about it, in summertime only. And with so many people these days can hardly make their bills, they're saying, how can we afford to stock up? We can't afford to stock up. Well, it could be just an excuse that they're saying, like, oh, I can't afford to stock up, oh, I don't have space to stock up. But this is for people who truly want to stock up but cannot afford it, maybe. But so let's find the ways to afford to be able to stock up. Well, the first way you can find money to stock up is to cut the unnecessary spending. Take it away from the other places you're spending on. So maybe you're spending it on entertainment, like even maybe Netflix or Hulu or those things. Those things you can survive without. There's lots of stuff you can watch on YouTube for absolutely free. Also, if you're spending money on eating out, stop. This is the biggest waste of money. You're overpaying for the food you can prepare by yourself at home, like maybe 5 times cheaper. You're just overpaying for convenience. Well, yeah, it's gonna save you some time, but if you have time to watch some shows or movies, you definitely have time to cook. Another one, convenience food, like if you were buying pre-cut things that are already chopped up for you. I mean, you can take 5 minutes and chop it up yourself. And also things that come with everything included, like sometimes there's like rice that's easy to cook, or like things that have little tiny packages in them and you just have to combine them. Instead of, you can buy the same things just separately and it will be a lot cheaper. So even if you don't have a lot to cut, but if you cut some of those expenses, and even if you can find like $20 a month that you can cut, this is $20 a month that already can buy you some things to stock up. Things like, like essential things to stock up, maybe for me is tuna cans. Besides the rice and stuff, the tuna cans that are ready to eat anytime and they're not gonna spoil, and they actually can feed you, and so you wouldn't be hungry or craving stuff. And also chicken cans. So you can buy tuna cans from 69, actually sometimes even 59 cents a little can that's like 4 or 5 ounces. And so for 20, and chicken would 10 or 12 ounce can would be like anywhere from $1.89 to like $2.19. So for $20 you can essentially buy like 10 meals that you can store for later. But also if you would buy a bag of rice, yeah, you can buy a bag of rice for $20. I bought recently a 50-pound bag for $20 of rice, and 1 month you buy a bag of rice, next month you buy some tuna or chicken cans, and this is enough. If you really have to, you can probably, even family of 5, you can probably feed your family for almost a month. Just if you're gonna have to make smaller meals and not really a lot of variety, but you're not gonna go hungry. So the way you can afford to stock up is to stock up on cheaper ingredients. that would be that is not necessarily the ingredients that are like bad quality or low nutrition. Those are the ones that's like just plain uncooked ones, that's like plain rice. If you buy a big bag for $20, you can buy like 50 pounds. Like beans, lentils, all those things, flour, maybe some sugar, but well, grains would be, and lentils would be more necessity than all the other things. Grains like or the foods that are made of grains like pasta, rice, quinoa, buckwheat, oats, those are really inexpensive per pound. And also beans and lentils and peas, you can buy those. They're like 50 cents per pound, or depends which kind you buy. So those are inexpensive to buy, and also when you cook them, they're gonna get bigger, so there's gonna be more food that can fill up the whole family. Also, when you're buying the food for right now, you can buy cheaper food, like instead of buying dehydrated, like those powder potatoes, those are like expensive. Like sometimes you can buy just so enough potatoes to feed 2 people for like it costs you like $1 for powdered ones. But if you buy real potatoes, sometimes you can find a bag of 10 pounds for like $1.99. Sometimes they're on really good sale for 99 cents, but that's hard to find. But even if you have to pay like $3 for 10 pounds of raw potatoes, they're still gonna be cheaper than buying the powdered ones. Powdered ones are good to store for long term, but for eating right now, it's cheaper to buy the raw potatoes. Of course, it takes more work to peel them and cook them and all that, but hey, if you're not gonna spend money on entertainment, you can entertain yourself by cooking. Also, you can save money by using less meat and less cheese, because those are the most expensive things per pound. And when you cook them, like when you cook meat, it doesn't get bigger like rice, it actually gets smaller. So the cheapest meal to make is soup. So you can have like 1.5 gallon pot, and you can use like 5 ounce of meat, like chicken chopped in pieces, or sometimes I use a drumstick. Sometimes just even one if I don't want to spend a lot of meat. And you can add all kinds of, depending what kind of soup you're cooking. If you're making bean soup, you can add beans, potatoes, carrots, celery. If whatever else you have, you can add a few spoons of rice, like just all spices, anything you like. And if you make lentil soup, I even make cabbage soup, but don't mix beans and cabbage all together, because that's going to be an overload. So most of the ingredients that you can use for soup, they're like really cheap, and you can use very little meat. Also, you can save on food right now and can spend less money on food right now, so you can buy more food for later, is to avoid waste. Like if you don't let anything perishable expire, try to use it up on time. Also, the things that are like have a longer shelf life, like canned stuff or stuff in the package, dry stuff, if it's nearing the expiration date, try to use it up. Try to make the meals that incorporate those foods, so you would eat them up, so you wouldn't have to throw them away a few months later. Also, when I stock up, I try to buy food with the longest expiration date. The longest one I've found so far that's like cans, it's 2024. So whenever I see in the store canned food that's from year 2020, expires in year 2024, if it's okay price, I'll stock up. Also, when stocking up for later, try to buy a more calorie dense food, things that actually can fill you up, like a can of fruit that costs about $1, almost $1, is not gonna fill you up, but a can of tuna will fill up most people. So the main things I'm stocking up is the cans of tuna and cans of chicken. And also, if you can open up those anytime later, and add it in any dish that has any grains like rice, anything else you're cooking, any kind of pasta dish. And you can also add it to the soup, so you can add like maybe a little bit of canned chicken to the soup, and then add all your other dry ingredients, and you can make a big pot of soup and feed your family for 2 days. I also freeze and dehydrate some fruits and vegetables to use for later. Like I froze a lot of carrots to use for steamed veggies and to use for adding to the soups, but I also dehydrated some carrots because I could buy carrots in really big bags for really cheap, and of course once you buy a big bag it's gonna take like half of your fridge if you want to just use it now. So I selected a few to use for right now and a few to the thicker one that I can slice it up with those big slices to use when I'm doing the steamed veggies, because you know, I buy some frozen broccolis, some frozen cauliflower and other things, and then I add some carrots to it. And compared to buying frozen frozen broccolis and other frozen peas, those will cost you at least $1 a pound for the frozen ones. But if you buy broccoli fresh, that's even more expensive. But my son would only eat fresh broccolis. He would not eat cooked broccolis. You know, he doesn't eat like anything and everything. He's picky. But my girls are like me. They eat anything that tastes good. so I bought the big bag, and I dehydrated some of them and some to use for soups later. So when you don't have anything else, you can always make soup. I can always have some either beans or dried peas or lentils, and if I have canned meat, and I have rice, and I have dehydrated onions and carrots, I can always make soup no matter what. So for those people who asking how can they afford to stock up, you can afford to stock up if you really make it a priority. I mean, some people might say it takes a lot of time to do all this, but you know, if you have, because some people might be working and all that. I also work a lot. I have 3 jobs that total about 50 hours a week, and I also homeschool my kids, but right now it's summertime, so it's a little bit easier for me. But because it's summertime, I have a huge garden now, and I also have the goats, and one of them I milk every morning and evening, so this way I always have milk. So yeah, so sometimes I go to sleep like at 2 a.m. and I have to get up before 8 the next morning to, you know, do all my backyard chores and get ready to work on time. But I also don't eat breakfast, so it saves me another 15 minutes in the morning. But you know, you just make your priorities, which one you want. Do you want convenience, or do you want to be able to not starve? So you make your choice, and I'm pretty sure you can find a way to afford to stock up. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Please tell me, how do you find ways to be able to afford the extra food to stock up? Bye.